All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast, the daily broadcast, which happens every day, except when it doesn't happen every day. All right, you guys know what to do. The early arrivals, give us hearts, give us thumbs up, let us know the audio is good, the video is good. We got Tech basketball to look at. What would you consider a good run in this NCAA tournament? That's one of the questions tonight. We asked, we'll do a deeper dive into the actual matchups, Tech and NC State, as the week goes on. But tonight, broad picture. What's a good run in the NCAA tournament? Tech baseball in action tonight against ACU. They need to beat the hell out of somebody. It needs to be ACU tonight. We can look at that. And it's not on the slug line. It's not on the headline. The ACC lawsuits that are going on, Clemson, Florida State, all good for the Big 12. As that league flies apart, it's all good for the Big 12. We'll talk about that, everything else. So if the audio is good, the video is good, give us thumbs up, everything else, and we get ready to go in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. You start your day there every day. Raiderland hot links, cool stuff you might have missed. Questions of the day, like today, your 2 best upsets on Tuesday's Best. What are your 2 upsets in the NCAA tournament? And then anything and everything that's on our mind at TheRaiderland.com, where we archive everything. We're in the Arctic Air studios. Our air is not necessarily Arctic, and it's not necessarily like subtropical. It's perfect thanks to Arctic Air. Now, as we get ready for the summer months, your air conditioner unit may not be ready. Call the Bear, callthebear.com, go to the website. They can come out, give you a good look see. They're not going to try to upsell you on anything. We're brought to you by Gators Bayou tonight, 98th and Slide, hot Cajun food, cold drinks, great patio. Happy spring, everybody. And all the games are there, and they turn the sound on. So check it out. If you can't make it out to the law tonight, Gators Bayou might be, if you're in Lubbock watching us right now, and the game's starting and you're out, you're like, I can't get out there. I want to watch the game. We'll go hang out at Gators Bayou. Also, all the communications, text line, comments, everything else, United Supermarkets. Thank you, United Supermarkets, for that. Oh, and you like the shirt? Yeah. Well, Pearl Snap action tonight. Hey, we're looking good. Looking good. Look at that. Yeah. Boot City, One Money, Saving Mile outside the West Loop, 19th Street. The official Western wear supplier in Raiderland. All right, let's get it going. James is the first one in tonight on the comments. Thumbs up. Good to see you. Let's get it going with Tech basketball. We'll start off with basketball, and I want to make sure baseball is going to update for me. Their website has been a little wonky today, so we'll see as they get going here in just a second if they're going to update me. You guys, if you can keep up with it in real time, that'd be fine too. Good run for Texas Tech NCAA tournament. What is it for you? For this team, one, to get in as a 6th seed, I think is great. All things considered, over the last month, everything that happened over the last month, they should have gone backwards instead of forwards. And they were on that 8-9 line. They were on that 7 line for McCaslin's team. But instead, they teetered on the 5-6, ended up on the 6. That's fine either way. So, one, that's a huge accomplishment. 2, I don't think they'll play a game in the NCAA tournament with Warren Washington playing meaningful minutes, if any at all. If any at all. And I think we're to the point now where it would have happened if he was going to play. I think Texas Tech has guarded this for one reason. You try to make teams think he might play so they prepare another 10 or 15 minutes of practice for, okay, if he's on the floor, this is what they're going to do. I don't think it's going to happen. So now it becomes Williams and D. Williams and D. Will. And can he go or not? And if he can't go Thursday night late in Pittsburgh against NC State, it's going to be a slog. You're just running out of smoke on one side and mirrors on the other if you're Grant McCasland to hold this thing together. He needs to be out there. That he didn't play against Houston, I think, was the right call. Whether he could have played or not, There was no upside, zero upside for him playing in that game after going down to the BYU game. So we take that off the board and we say, okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all against Houston. You're priced in. Now, can he play against NC State? He needs to. So we ask again the question for those of you watching on Twitter, on YouTube, or on Facebook. You can chime in, get your comments coming in. Thanks to United Supermarkets, Market Street. What's a good run in the NCAA tournament for this team? I would say right now, tonight, and tomorrow night, and Thursday night, win one game. Get me a win in the NCAA tournament. Beat North Carolina State in their little dream season, end of the year run. Beat those people. And that's a good NCAA tournament. Because you might get Kentucky, you might not. You probably do. Are they better than you? Probably. 2 wins would be stupid good, Chris. Craig says the talking box is on. Finally, somebody from the old days talking about that. But if you can get there, and get one win, I'm good with that. Big picture stuff on NC State. HoopsHD.com, great breakdowns. So their average net win, we're going to use the NET number. So if you don't know what that is, just go with me. But their average net win this year was 152.2. Their average net loss was 45.4. They had, on the year, 3 Tier 1 wins in the net. 2 of them came last week at the ACC tournament against North Carolina and against Duke. They have, wait for it, on Tier 2 losses, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have a Tier 3 loss, and they have a Tier 4 loss? No, they do not. So they have a Tier 3 loss to Syracuse, bad basketball team this year, 83-87. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tier 2 losses. The rest of their losses in the top tier. Now, I want to compare and contrast this because we're going big picture and why Tech is a better team, whether Williams is hurt, whether Washington is out there or not. So let's go to Texas Tech real quick. Do you know how many losses Tech has outside of Tier 1 this year? 1 on the net, and that is Cincinnati back on February 3rd, 72-75. Every other loss is a net Tier 1 loss. Your average win came against 130. So that's about 15, 20 higher than theirs. Your average net loss, 30.1. That's again, let's go back and that's 15 higher than theirs. I'm doing big picture stuff to show you that Texas Tech has played a much more difficult level of competition and succeeded, even over the last month with injuries and everything else, at a much higher level of competition than NC State. I think a lot of Texas Tech fans, a lot of fans in general, you hear ACC and you think old ACC. The ACC is not all that these days. Mike Krzyzewski don't live here no more. Dean Smith don't live here no more. Roy Williams don't live here no more. So all that considered, you're better than NC State. You ought to win. Tech is favored anywhere you look from 5, 5.5. I think that's about right. I think it's going to be a single-digit win. It'll probably be tough. I hate the start time. You go east, so you're off a time zone already if you're Texas Tech. Then you're playing late. It's going to be 9:40, almost 10 o'clock before you start. And that's just a long-ass day. And there's no way. So you go out today. I think they flew out today. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah. So they flew out today. I saw that today. They flew out, and boy, are their arms tired. You get into your hotel. You'll go tomorrow. You'll see the facility. You'll have a workout. All the team there will have an hour to work out. and get used to the arena. And then Thursday, you got to wait all day. And you try to stretch out the day if you're a coaching staff. You have I think, 30-minute shoot around at the facility if you want to, or you can go somewhere else and shoot longer, like a local high school or something like that. A lot of teams choose to do that in addition to, we'll go at like 9 in the morning or whenever and go to the arena. We're going to play in later tonight. We'll go get the rims a little bit, and then we're going to go somewhere else and we're going to do our walkthrough. We're going to do everything we do. So you try to stretch out the day. Then you go back to the hotel. You're going to have lunch. You're going to have meetings. I assume they'll have a catered lunch at the hotel. Whether the hotel does it or it's brought in, doesn't really matter. And all of a sudden, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going, we don't play for another 6.5, 7 hours. Your pregame, typically, like for a 7 o'clock pregame, you're going to eat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So for an 8:40 hour stretching it out, it's just not a good deal. And you got to deal with that. Both teams, obviously. Jeff, a good tourney is winning the first one, beating Kentucky. Anyone else after that, icing on an incredible season. I agree. And that's why I say that, for my money, if you can beat NC State, and I think they should, I think they will, anything else after that, great. See what happens, roll the dice. But hopefully Texas Tech fans are astute enough, and I believe they are, certainly those watching this broadcast, otherwise you would not be here, to then go, get a win, go from there. Get a win, make it happen. Meanwhile, back at Danlaw Field, where the wind is moderate tonight, the bases are loaded, and apparently there's nobody out. And Zane Petty has thrown 15 pitches and walked 3. Our situation is not improved. Not the start we were looking for Tech baseball tonight. Who needs to beat the hell out of somebody? Obviously, I'm not able to watch it right now. Maybe some of you guys are. I don't know what to tell you about Zane Petty right now. This is a guy who has tremendous talent. I think he's a fine pitcher, and he is about to bury himself in the back of the bullpen. This is a guy I wanted Tech to look at as a starter last year as a freshman after some really nice midweeks early on. So, yeah. We got walk. We got walk. We got walk. Balk. Walk. Bases loaded. See, I was having such fun talking about basketball that all of a sudden now I really don't want to talk about baseball that much. This team's got some issues right now. And Tadlock we trust. Every year, he is not afraid to push buttons and do things with the lineup and move people around, get them in the right places. You get the right people on the bus, then you get them in the right seat on the bus. He's great at that. This is the first time in several years, maybe even since 2015, the year after they went to the World Series for the first time, that I feel like they just really don't know. And I'm talking about the coaches, and nobody's taking over roles, and they are just hunting and pecking right now, trying to find anything that'll work lineup-wise. Offensively, the lineup to me right now seems disconnected. That you would love to build a lineup where you got fast guy, contact guy, power guy, backup power, and everything else, and then some speed and some contact at the bottom of the order, reset, stretch out the inning, and do everything. This lineup right now offensively just doesn't seem connected. That this guy does this guy does that. You got Cash up at the top for a while. Oh, crap, we got to move him back to nobody sitting in the middle. We got to move him back to the middle. And let's see what the lineup is tonight. Got an out, struck out Williams. Good job. Let's see, Texas Tech batting order. Sorry. Pushing buttons. Lineups. There we go. So Cash is back at the top of the order tonight. Tracer Lopez at short. I agree with the move there. He's a natural shortstop and is one of the best in the country at it. And he's getting on base, even though his BA is not all that high at 255. Cade McGee at third, which you thought was maybe going to be a bat behind Cash in the middle of the lineup. Then Austin Green right and hitting fourth tonight. Drew Woodcocks, who just has batted his way into the lineup, is in left. In center, you got Davis Rivers tonight, moving around a little bit. Kevin Bazell, not ready to go behind the plate apparently after his illness, is still DHing at 349. Gage Harrelson getting the start in center. And pardon me, I said center for Rivers, catching. Sorry, catching. And then Harrelson in center. TJ Pompey back into the 9 spot with that 352 average playing second. So this is back to the pre-Baylor lineup where you'd have Gavin Cash up at the top, where you got a guy mashing 30 home runs at the top. We'll see what happens. Did we get anywhere? Still looking at 1 out, 2 outs now. Got a couple of strikeouts. Come on now, Zane. You can get out of this thing. I talk good about you. You got to get out of this thing. So for Texas Tech baseball, the inaugural for this season D1 baseball RPI comes out. And by the way, this is the Bible of college baseball, D1baseball.com, Kendall Rogers, all those guys. Their RPI is basically what the NCAA goes on seeding. You are as low in that RPI as I've seen Tech in a long time. You're at 70 going into tonight. 7-0. You got work to do. A lot of work to do. Now, the good news is, from a Big 12 standpoint, that if you were to go sweep, and I know we're talking about just trying to get by ACU right now. If you were to go sweep BYU this weekend, you'd be in third place, no matter what. And that would imply that both Houston and Oklahoma did good, and what the gap would be. But that if you swept, there's no way you'd be worse than third in the Big 12. So there's a lot of baseball left to be played. There are a lot of reasons to feel good about this team going forward. But you got to show me something. And I just knew this team was going to be challenged pitching-wise from the standpoint of, I don't know who was going to step up. I know you got a lot of arms. You got a lot of arms you feel good about. I'm a little concerned about this offensive lineup stretching out innings. And that's what Tadlock and this staff are trying to do right now, is figure out how to structure it to stretch out an inning. But obviously by that, we mean that you can have different outcomes in an inning, and you can get 1 run, you can get 5 runs, or you can get no runs. And you got to stretch the inning out. It's not happening right now. You know? James says the RPI need to be under 45. You need to be under 40, really, as an at-large team. This year, the Big 12 is not going to have a great conference RPI. It's going to be hard to make it up. So you're going to need to be in the 30s probably, I think, if you're Texas Tech, to feel good about getting in. Long time since we've had that conversation about getting in. Ross, beat the fake Campbellites and the Mormons and get back on track. Look at that. He's bringing smack on ACU, Abilene Christian, Church of Christ School, and the fake Campbellites, and then the Mormons, who draw a lot of their, if not some of their inspiration from some Campbellite thing. We got religious smack talk going on. Only on this broadcast will you get that. Ross, good stuff, man. Hope you're well. Good to see you pop on. Been a while since I've seen your name out there. Hope everything is great doing what you do. It's 1-0 Abilene Christian. Yeah. So a Radke walks and a run is walked in. What are we at right now, Zane? Zane, what are you? 31 pitches in the first inning. We're not out of there yet. So even if it goes well in the second and third, he's probably going to be done by the 4th inning, which you may or may not have gone into this game thinking, and this is a compressed week. Remember, tomorrow they go to BYU. They play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's not a typical week where you've got 2 days in between on the bullpen. So it's not like you were going to try to use a ton of guys in the bullpen. But maybe you were going in tonight thinking, well, I want to throw 4, maybe 5 guys. Yeah, you're going to have to do it now for sure. Let's go real quick. And then anything and everything from basketball. baseball, whatever's on your mind. You guys fire the questions away. Thank you, United Supermarkets, Market Street, all around West Texas, the Metroplex, wherever you may call home. There's only one grocery store that has its name on United Supermarkets Arena, and it ain't the one from down there that has their advertising all over Austin sporting events. I think we know what we're talking about. So we got Tech basketball tonight. What do you consider a good run, a good NCAA tournament? Baseball, your thoughts on that? Questions, comments? All right, so now let's go real quick. News of the day. ACC lawsuits with Clemson and Florida State. Clemson lawsuits and discovery coming out in that. We're getting all sorts of juicy information about the grant of rights within the ACC, what that may or may not imply. Clemson saying, "Hey, we're still really in the ACC, but we really didn't sign off on you guys suing Florida State when the conference sued Florida State over the grant of rights and everything else." So just tie all that together, Big 12, big picture, and just know this: it's all good for the Big 12. That the disillusion, the flying apart at the seams of that conference, that the Big 12 can probably profit and bring in some schools from the ACC. Now, the question will be, do you want to do that? What can you get? Can you get football schools? Will you get football schools? Would you take basketball schools? If the ACC flies apart, would you take Duke, North Carolina? If you can't get Clemson, Florida State, if they end up absorbed into the SEC Big Ten deal, if you think that we're at a place right now, loggerheads is what you might call it. If we're at a loggerhead with those two conferences, and all of a sudden the ACC and the Big 12, and well, that's pretty much it right now, isn't it? There is no Pac-12. Are going up against the SEC and the Big Ten. What would you take? I would say I'd take anything. Anything that would be willing to sign a contract, anything that would be willing to jump in with the Big 12, football, basketball, or baseball. Welcome to the league. Sign a deal. Trace is jumping in, my man who makes some amazing salsas. Good run equals Sweet 16. I would disagree. I think if you can get the first win, I think that's good. I think if you got to the Sweet 16, Trace, that's a great run. That's a great run this year with this team. They have no business really even being a 6 seed. They probably ought to be on the 8-9 line, given what they've done the last, not what they've done, but what they've had to deal with the last month. They're overachieving already. And Grant McCasland, freaking over. I hate overachievers. Make me look bad. Are we out of the inning yet? No, we're not. Yeah, we are. So 2-0 Abilene Christian. Had a pass ball, scored a run. So, yay. 2-0 Abilene Christian. Gavin Cash at the plate. Woohoo! This is where I have to remind myself not to be football guy when it comes to Tech baseball. Not to get too wrapped up in any singular event, singular game, singular inning. Hey, check it out. See what happens. And go from there. Tech baseball underachieving, says Red Dawn Double T. Off the Twitter machine. Yeah, they're underachieving right now. Based on the talent level, based on everything they've got, they're underachieving at this moment. We'll see what happens, though. That's why I love baseball. You can get baseball epitomizes. Stay with me here. Everybody have a sip. Baseball epitomizes the duality of man, the two characteristics struggling within each of us, the yin, the yang. There is the moment, the transitive nature of that, and then there is the long term. In baseball, we have the moment that we get caught up in, and then we also love the transitive nature of the long term that we can embrace through a full season so that we can find ourselves sitting here freaking out, down 2-0, but at the same time go, call me back in May. Let's see what it looks like in May. And that's why football guy struggles with baseball. Football guy can't handle baseball. Football guy only has the moment. Baseball guy struggles with the duality of man, which really is epitomized by the rubber chicken that the Tech hecklers used to hang at Danlaw Field. The rubber chicken represented the duality of man. Now that we don't have that, it's hard maybe for some fans to understand. I get it. I truly do. Still, be nice to beat ACU tonight. Let's see. Cash singled to short. Nice. Goes to second on a pass ball. Yeah, we're in the midst of a midweek game. I can already tell. Hold on, look at this. Monitors. We got monitors everywhere. Wife is, I think she's making burritos tonight. I'm not really sure. It looked like all the fixings for burritos in the kitchen when I was in there earlier. We'll see what happens. We'll be back with you tomorrow, Wednesday. Overrated, underrated, rated right Wednesday on the website, theraiderland.com, which you ought to go to. We're going to ask you to do one thing before you get out of here. Share the dog out of this for our sponsors, for everybody. Grow Raiderland. Put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube. If you are watching on Twitter or Facebook and you hadn't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. That helps grow the metric. It gets it out more. Even if you don't watch on YouTube, you don't ever have to do anything other than just subscribe. That's fine. Log in, be good. We are monitoring the monitors, Damon. Damon, who is chiming in off YouTube. It looks like YouTube Live. So if you could check us out on YouTube and follow us there, we would appreciate that. Helps everything, makes everything better, makes the grass grow green. And we like that. Last chance. I got a couple more minutes. Questions, comments, fire away. United Supermarkets text line. If you like Pearl Snap shirts that are really cool like this, Boot City. The short sleeve shirts are in. If you're, I don't know. Well, I know why. My arms are skinny as I get older, and I look like an idiot. So I don't wear as many short sleeve shirts as I used to, but they've got them there, ready to go. Do I want to check? What are we doing here? There you go. Runners on the corners. Lopez singled. Cash to third, and we have a developing situation at Danlaw Field as McGee has gone deep to left. It is unplayable. That ball is no longer with us. A 3-run homer. Cash, Lopez plated, and McGee gets the home run. 3-2 Texas Tech. See, everything's okay. This is what we're talking about here. The duality of man in baseball. The first inning, top. The bottom of the first inning. 3-2. Okay, Rod jumping in bicep curl. Yeah, but then I would look unbalanced. I don't want to look unbalanced. I want to look equally unfit, Not like those guys who are all yoked up top, and then you look at the legs and go, hey, he looks like a chicken riding a football. What are we doing there? The duality of man comes through. That's what we're talking about. Was that Red Dawn? 3-run honer. Yeah, dang old honer, man. I'll tell you what, got a honer to left. I got thrown out of a. Never mind. Yeah, so it's all good, and Texas Tech is going to win 70 games this year. Makes it work. All right, you guys are the best. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Hope you will share this on Twitter, on Facebook, the replay. You can do that. If everybody who jumps in here and hangs out with us for a little bit shares that, subscribes to all of our channels, follow us on Facebook. Even if you hate Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. Follow us and subscribe on YouTube. If you guys will do that, everything grows, everything's better. Our wonderful sponsors like United Supermarkets, like Boot City, Gators Bayou, where they're showing the game right now and saying goodbye to one of their managers. And Rich, by the way, Rich, nobody, he'll never know this, but Rich, good job. Good luck to you coming up. And of course, here in the Arctic Air Studios, right? Yes. See you later. Thank you, Damon. I am the old guy. I am the old guy tonight. We have to hit the end stream button up here. We hit it first, and it says in the stream question mark. Not yet, or in the stream. Yes, in the stream. Now, hold on a second while I strike a seductive pose.